Hello and welcome to this webinar. This is the LinkedIn training and we're going to be helping you master your LinkedIn profile so you can have a salary over 250,000 within the finance industry, and a lot of these tips in general will help you regardless of whether you're in the finance industry or not. It's all about great LinkedIn profiles and we will unlock the secrets for your career advancement. Now, this successful career strategy that I'm going to share with you in this webinar, I've used personally from over 10 years in the investment banking industry, working at top companies, top investment banks. And I've also used this successfully with my clients across companies such as HSBC, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, and Citigroup. Also been successful in investment banks such as Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank, and across a wide array of hedge funds, asset managers and private equity firms such as Arrowgrass, Citadel and CVC. We've also seen success with these strategies at top 4 management consultancy firms such as Deloitte and KPMG. I'm here to help you, one of 100,000 people that I am targeting, to help them be ambitious high achievers and reach their financial freedom through their career and personal finances. So here you can see my job offer from Goldman Sachs, where I've worked there on the trading floor. And then at JP Morgan, you can see here that I have received an interview invite previously for the equity derivatives role. And I've done this using the strategies I'm going to share with you in this particular webinar with a strong LinkedIn profile. Similarly, from Citigroup, I've received interviews from there, which I've conducted successfully. And Credit Suisse. So we see a wide array of evidence of how these particular strategies around career and LinkedIn profiles have been successful. Have a quick look at this disclaimer before we move on with the great content. Okay, now we're ready to level up your career. These are the 4 sections of the particular webinar we're going to go through today. This exciting webinar will take you through point 1, LinkedIn heavy hitters, headlines, and we're referring to the first part of your LinkedIn profile, which is the first thing recruiters see, and I'm going to give you an exact explanation, step-by-step instructions to make sure that's really powerful and really effective at attracting top recruiters. The second part of the webinar will take you through the about section, where you have a bit more space, a bit more word count to go through different aspects of your skills, a bit of a summary of your previous experience, and a bit more space to talk about your unique selling points to attract recruiters and hiring managers for high paying salaries. And then we'll move on to point 3, section 3 of the training, where I'll give you step-by-step points on how to grow your LinkedIn network to increase your net worth by creating connections with powerful connections within your industry, powerful contacts within your industry. We'll go through points like messaging your recruiters, leveraging contacts at other firms, researching companies, researching the interviewers before you have an interview with a particular company, so you're fully up to date on the company and the particular person interviewing you, how it's good to join certain groups and attend virtual trainings and so on. And then in the final part of the training, point number 4, in section 4, we'll take you through the next steps to boost your career and specific tailor-made advice I can provide to you. So stay tuned to the end for some extra special tips to leverage LinkedIn and increase your salary dramatically. So let's get started with section number 1. In this section, you will learn how to write LinkedIn heavy hitter headlines to attract attention from top recruiters and powerful hiring managers to attract high paying salaries. Firstly, what exactly is a LinkedIn headline? So the LinkedIn headline is referring to the top part of your LinkedIn profile. It should attract the recruiter's attention immediately. Your LinkedIn profile is the first thing that top recruiters and hiring managers will see. So you need to make a great first impression. As you can see in this example we have here, which we'll go through in a bit more detail in a few more slides, you need to have a brilliant banner, which is this image at the top. Maybe add a bit more editing to describe what you actually do and the skills you have to offer. Have a professional photo of yourself. Include a brief description of your strongest skills that you offer to the industry, maybe being a career consultant in my case, some of the top companies or places you studied, like Goldman Sachs or London School of Economics. And then mention your location, like London, because that will be where recruiters will filter down searches for. They'll search for everyone in London. So if you're looking for roles in London, hopefully you can put that down as your location. And then also provide any links to maybe a personal website you have, like an email list, or perhaps you have a personal finance blog that shows your financial expertise and understanding. So I would link to that, so it's a good example of the type of work you're capable of producing and the high level of financial understanding you have. Now, what should you include on your LinkedIn headline, that top part of your LinkedIn profile? So some of the key things you'd remember from that previous slide is having a professional photo, and this will help you stand out as a professional employee who can be a good ambassador for the company you're looking for to join. You can have a formal outfit in a fresh haircut, of course, so try to pick a professional setting and a professional clothing to wear. And then also remember, it's good to have a nice professional banner. Some people leave their banner quite blank, but it seems a bit bland that way. It's simple. You can just look online for a nice picture of your local business district, or head to your local business area in your major city and take a nice picture so you can use that as a banner in your own LinkedIn profile. And then the key thing is, as many times as possible on your LinkedIn profile, to mention your achievements and ambition, particularly in the headlines, any key standouts like you'd see on a newspaper headline. So if you achieved any particular goal, you've worked for any particular top company, you went to a top university, try to mention them early on in your LinkedIn headline, so the recruiter or the hiring manager will be attracted to reading on and looking at your level of achievement. The next step is to be a headline hero. So when I'm referring to headline hero, I'm talking about your LinkedIn headline, that first part of your LinkedIn profile, where you want to mention in a very brief word count you have here, 220 characters, essentially the key parts of your skill level. So in my case, it was working at Goldman Sachs, working at JP Morgan, going to LSE, things like that. And then the banner ideas, the top part, as I say, you can take a picture at your local business district, and you can use your skyscraper nice image, or perhaps if you don't have a local business district, perhaps an awards ceremony, your graduation ceremony, maybe you're working in the office. Different visual elements are quite important to include. I know lots of people just think about the words that they're going to be typing on their LinkedIn profile, but remember, humans are visual creatures. We pick up on images, as you can see on the image on your screen right now. Anything that stands out to people, it will really stay in their mind, so they'll remember you when they're considering you for roles moving forward. Now, these are the 4 fantastic features to focus on your LinkedIn headline. Your current position, for example, you're a Harvard's economics student. Your particular offer, which means the skills you have to offer. You could be a financial modeling expert. Your aspirations, what you're aspiring to. So recruiters, when they look at your profile, they won't just look at your skills. They will look at where you want to head in terms of the future of your career. So are you a private equity intern? Are you experiencing a career change, perhaps from being in risk management to working as a trader? Mention those type of aspirations early on in your LinkedIn profile if you can. And then any of your experience highlights, mention any top companies, maybe doing a spring week at Credit Suisse, anything like that, just to help you stand out. Anything that will help you stand out, try to include that early on in your LinkedIn profile. Now we're looking at this is the example I mentioned at the start of the section. So this is my LinkedIn headline. So let's talk about some of the reasons why this could be good. And as you can see where the arrow is pointing, this is the brief wording you can include, in terms of your career consultant, ex-Goldman Sachs, London School of Economics alumni. So what we're having here is we're trying to point out why this is a particular good LinkedIn headline. So you see a few things that will really stand out based on the criteria I previously explained to you on the other slides. So we can see this LinkedIn headline works quite well because it focuses on my current position and what I have to offer, being a career consultant. My experience highlights working at Goldman Sachs, studying at London School of Economics. And it has a professional banner. You can see this is a skyline of the City of London. You might recognize the Gherkin in the background and a few of the other major office buildings there. And it also mentions my location, London, my website, the Substack email newsletter I have, which you should definitely sign up for. And this is exactly the type of features you should look at. So feel free to pause the webinar right now if you want to make a quick note of some of the good points I just mentioned here. And next we'll be going through some even more examples so you can use that for your own LinkedIn profile. Now let's move on and go through some examples. So in this first example, we can see a good LinkedIn headline. And remember, you only have 220 characters on that LinkedIn headline, the top part of your profile. So you have to keep it very brief, right? I mentioned my previous example where I mentioned I was a career consultant and where I've worked and studied. And here we see quite brief, good examples here. For this LinkedIn headline, this employee says, or this particular person says, currently seeking a private equity role after 2 years as a portfolio management analyst at a tier 2 investment bank. So it clearly says their aspiration, they're seeking private equity roles, their experience highlights, they have 2 years as a portfolio management at tier 2 investment banks. So you can see here by mentioning some of those fantastic 4 features, and here we have 2 of them, their aspirations and their experience. So this will help you stand out. Try to mention any of the top points in your LinkedIn headline. Example number 2. We have this proactively searching for a finance analyst roles in commercial banking after completing an accounting master's. So it shows their current position. They've just completed their accounting master's, so they are qualified in accounting, and what their aspirations are. They're looking for finance analyst roles. So of course, if you are job seeking, make it clear what you are job seeking for in your LinkedIn headline so recruiters can contact you and find relevant roles for you. We have another example here. Operations analyst with 3 years experience at UBS, returning to work after a gap year of volunteering, seeking sell-side opportunities at brokers. Their current position is returning to work after a gap year of volunteering, and their aspirations are seeking sell-side opportunities. Their experience highlights are the operation analyst role at UBS. So you can see here, this is how you hit the main points: your current position, your aspirations, your experience highlights. So I'd recommend, you can pause the video at any time and make a quick note of these and look at your LinkedIn headline and see, are you including these type of top points? LinkedIn headline example 4. So we have a Cambridge economics graduate. Who recently completed a JP Morgan summer internship, and they're seeking entry-level opportunities in sales and trading. So this is very good. So you can see they mentioned top brand name companies and economic and studying institutions, educational institutions. So they're mentioning here, they worked at JP Morgan as an internship and they studied at Cambridge. So if you have any top brand names, even if it is simply a spring week at Credit Suisse, things like that, any top company names, you should definitely mention that. It'll help you stand out from your competition. Now, LinkedIn headline example 5. UCL economics first year student with prior work experience at an accountancy and technology firm, and they're seeking a summer internship within the finance industry. So this shows them, okay, cool, they have some relevant experience, they studied at UCL. These are the type of things that will help you stand out. Like I say, a brand name like UCL, what you've previously done, even if you don't have a top company on your LinkedIn profile, any experience you have is quite good to mention. This is all good in attracting the reader to read the rest of your profile. Now, it's best to take a moment and you can look back at your own LinkedIn headline. Hopefully you have that open in a separate tab. And feel free to look back at this section and these examples and use all this helpful advice to improve your LinkedIn headline. Now it's time to take your LinkedIn profile to the next level in this section, the LinkedIn Amazing About section. And with these Amazing About sections, I'll help you to write the About section of your LinkedIn profile to attract and encourage recruiters to read your entire LinkedIn profile and send you a very lucrative job offer. Now the About section, as you can see here in a brief example from myself on my own profile, all it has to do is summarize some key details about you. You have a bit more word count here compared to your headline, where you can just describe a bit of your experience, what you're aiming for, your skill level, and so on. Now let's look through this one in particular. So you can see my About section mentions I'm a financial career consultant. I've worked at Goldman Sachs. I studied at LSE. I have over a decade of experience in investment banking industry, and I offer courses and services to help university students and other professionals succeed in the finance industry. So in a very brief, just a few sentences, I've provided a lot of information there. My academic achievements at LSE, my work experience at Goldman Sachs in investment banking, and my skills providing career consulting and career courses and services. So this is what you should include in your about section. Just remember the bare basics here: your academic achievements, your work experience, and some of your skills. Now, here are the 3 simple steps I mentioned here. So your academic achievements, your work experience, and your skills. And remember, you have a bit more of a word count here. So you have 500 words roughly, or 2600 character limit. So I would say maybe aim for about 200 to 300 words. Make sure you thoroughly explain all your skills, work experience, academic achievements, and imagine you're writing like a sales pitch to a recruiter or a hiring manager, and you really want to stand out. So you want to say all the good characteristics about you from a professional work perspective. Now let's check out some great examples here. Now, example 1 for a great about section is this. Currently, I have 2 years experience as a buy-side finance analyst at State Street. My broad array of experience includes technical, trade analysis skills, and client management skills. Prior to this, I graduated from the University of Leicester with an upper second class honours accounting degree. Right, so what are the good points here? Firstly, they do mention their academic achievements. They have an upper second class honours accounting degree, so they're a skilled accountant. They worked at a buy-side role in State Street. State Street is a very good company. It's highly regarded within the finance industry, so it's good they mentioned it. And then they mention their key skills: technical trade analysis and client management skills. So recruiters, when they are doing searches for candidates, they will look for particular skills. So make sure you mention the specific skills you do have in your about section. Now, in example 2, we have this. With a master's degree in economics and an attendee at a spring week at both UBS and Deutsche Bank, I'm seeking internships either on the summer or off-cycle roles, right? Because some internships, they're typically summer internships, but some of them are off-cycle roles, which means 6-month internships throughout the year, at investment banks based in London or Singapore. Throughout my master's degree, I conducted in-depth economic analysis of company balance sheets and market competition reports. So again, we have many good things mentioned here: the academic achievements, master's degree in economics, their work experience, spring week at UBS and Deutsche Bank. Again, they have top companies to mention, so it's good they mention that. And then the skills, they have the economic analysis, and they understand balance sheets and market reports, in particular, market competition reports. So again, be very in-depth. You have extra words to use in this section. So mention all your specific skills. Try to really help yourself stand out by mentioning any brand name companies you worked for. And yeah, and then as you can see here, they also mention that they want to essentially work in London or Singapore. So this is good to mention because you're being very specific. So recruiters will reach out to you with those specific roles in those locations. And they also mentioned a bit more detail on their skills, not just simply they have economic analysis skills. They talk about specifically balance sheets and market competition. So if you know these are skills in demand, you should definitely mention them on your LinkedIn profile. Now, you need to grow your LinkedIn network, of course. You've already learned how to write fantastic LinkedIn headlines and an about section, and you're well on your way to LinkedIn and career success, so that's great. But on this section, we'll really help you level up by growing your LinkedIn network to increase your net worth, right? Now, this section will tell you how to attract new opportunities through people you know in this specific industry. So let's move on. And as it says on the screen before we do, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And I can tell you from after 10 years of experience in the investment banking industry, it really is important to make sure you have the right connections, because if you're very skilled but you don't have the right connections, you would be kind of limited in your career growth. So I'd recommend you develop those good connections by following these tips. Firstly, you'll notice on LinkedIn, it typically mentions how many connections you have, professional connections, or, almost like your friend count, right, with different people in the industry. Now, 500 connections is very important because it's kind of like a threshold of showing you are good at working with other people and developing professional connections. And here are 3 tips why, right? So it shows social proof that you have strong people skills from previous experience. You can work with different people from different backgrounds. And in the busy city life, as you know, it's very busy in any major city like London or Singapore, New York, and so on. It's important to make the right connections quickly so you can effectively push your career forward by being professional with other people, and quickly getting access to those top job roles that are going to be available on the market. And then networking is very important to promote your personal professional brand and help you with your next career move. Yeah, and I just want to emphasize this a bit more before we move on. So the social proof really proves your capability at being great at working with different people from different cultures and different genders and backgrounds, which is very important because the workplace is very diverse and the financial markets are global. So you'll typically be working with people from different countries. So if you have more connections on your LinkedIn profile, it shows you're good at working with different personality types and different cultures. And as I say on the second point around the busy city life, it's important to make those connections very quickly, because as soon as jobs become available, you want to be one of the top candidates that they consider for that. And then in terms of networking, again, the key is to raise your profile so all the key important stakeholders know about you and they're willing to hire you. Now, another quick way of increasing your LinkedIn network is by syncing your contacts, which means by linking your LinkedIn profile to other apps you might use, like your Gmail account or your calendar, or all your Google contacts, right? Or the numbers listed in your phone. So you can sync this by following the instructions here. You visit the profile of your sync contacts and click connect to network with them after you've done the sync session, the sync steps, which I'm going to go through now. So what you need to do is you would click My Network here, click Contacts under Manage My Network, and click Manage Sync Contacts. And when you sync, you essentially link yourself to these contacts. So say you've got your phone and you have tons of different numbers of people that you know from university, from college studies, from other professional contacts, or either outside of your professions, maybe friends and family members. You have your Gmail account, you have tons of people on your email that are professional contacts. And if you sync those and connect those and link those to your LinkedIn profile, you'll have all these new connections that you can connect with that will be flagged to you. You probably forgot about some of your contacts, perhaps from university, that are now working in prestigious companies. So if you sync your contacts, you'll quickly increase your connection count, your follower count on your LinkedIn profile. And this will dramatically, demonstrate that you are good at building these professional connections in a very quick and easy way. Now, it's important to leverage your existing contacts. So typically you'd have very close connections with people, say from university, college, friends, other people working in top careers. You might have work experience contacts. Even if you just did an internship or spring week, you'll have connections there. So you should definitely connect with them on LinkedIn. Other professions, maybe you're in the finance industry, but it's good to create connections with people in legal companies or tech companies, because legal, tech and finance are very closely connected now. There's lots of legal issues within finance, lots of tech companies trying to build their financial department. So you want to build those connections as much as you can and connect with people like that on LinkedIn. And again, you might have friends or family in relevant professional roles. So reach out to them on LinkedIn too and help maintain those connections. Now, it's important, of course, if you want to progress your career and get those high-paying jobs, you need to connect with recruiters. So you should call top recruiters in your city, send them connect requests on LinkedIn so you can connect with the relevant recruiters working at these recruitment firms and share your CV with them. I do this all the time. It really helps me with career opportunities. Recruiters are always looking for talented candidates for top job roles, and they want to put top candidates when they're put top candidates before the companies that are their clients, right? So if I have a CV and I worked at Goldman Sachs and HSBC, for example, and they put my CV before another major company, like let's just say BGC Brokers, they'll be representing themselves quite well. So they're always looking for new CVs, new candidates. It's always good for you to put your CV out there, send them to recruiters. So make a list of some of the top recruiters in your particular location. Maybe it's London. Call them, check their website, find out how you can upload your CV to their website or connect with them directly on LinkedIn, and send your CV to them, tell them you're looking for particular job roles. And that'll be a great way of connecting with them, increasing your LinkedIn connection count. And also, of course, they will reach out to you as soon as they have their job available, because they want to hire people and earn their own sales commission from putting people in top roles. Now, for example, there's some of the main recruiters in London, as you can see here, for top finance roles. Hayes is a major financial recruiter, and they have other roles that they hire for also. Black Swan are good at connecting people with top companies. Robert Walters, another top company that is good for top finance roles. There's Danos Associates, Options Group London. There's so many different recruiters, so it's good if you connect with them on their LinkedIn through reaching out to their specific contacts there. Now, another thing that's good to do is to connect with junior employees, particularly if you're at the start of your career. You want to develop as many connections as you can in the industry. So you should reach out to people at the start of their career, different companies, like say a finance analyst at UBS, or an associate level employee at say Deutsche Bank. Just connect with people. Say you're in the industry, you're looking at connecting with them and messaging them and seeing how you can help them, or go for a quick coffee. People are always looking to build their own connections, so you should try to do that also, right? Because you want to make sure you're not isolated in the industry. You have some good contacts that will help you find good roles too. So connect with junior employees so you can get recommended for top roles. Maybe they have a new job coming available in their team, in their department, and they can recommend you if they are connected with you on LinkedIn and they've developed a professional friendship with you. So look for that throughout your LinkedIn profile activity. Now we have a good example here, right? So this is how you could connect with different people on LinkedIn. So we have a contact called Bethany, and Bethany is reaching out to Paula. And Bethany, studied at LSE, and she's seeing if she can connect with Paula and maybe put herself forward for a particular job opportunity, and also help the contact. So when you're reaching out to people and you're messaging them, just don't think about what you have to gain from them, maybe a potential job opportunity, but also what you can offer them. It might be help with them. You might be able to help them with their university connections, if they're doing recruitment at universities. There's all sorts of skills you can offer, even small things like maybe doing some financial research for them. Little things like that can help people. They'll really go a long way in terms of building the connection rather than simply asking them to help you. Let's go through this briefly. Hi Paula, while browsing LinkedIn today, I noticed we're both LSE alumni and members of the LSE Finance Society. It'd be great to connect on LinkedIn, as I'm eager to learn more about your current role at Goldman Sachs as a risk analyst, as I'm hoping to also work in investment banking risk division. In return, I'm eager to help you with your university recruitment initiatives at Goldman Sachs that could be organised at LSE, as I organise events at my university. I've almost finished my final year at LSE, a short walk from London, in their Farringdon office. Could we grab a coffee at a time that works for you? So why is this such a good example of a message? And you should use this as a template when you are messaging people. You message something you have in common. Maybe you both studied at LSE in this case. And you are looking to learn more from them, so that's what they have to offer you. And what do you have to offer them? You're helping them with their university recruitment, and that will help Paula at the company of Goldman Sachs by raising her own profile, by showing she can work with junior contacts like people who are looking to work at Goldman Sachs. So this is how you can help her and help the company, as being like a help in terms of their recruitment initiatives. And then also offering a coffee that you're relatively close. It's not much hassle. Maybe after work they can reach out to you and you can help them. So this is another good example of how you can be a good contact and message people and grow your profile and develop professional connections. Now, you should also do interviewer research, right? So this is the first of several tips I'm going to talk you through, which would be very helpful for you to develop your career. Now, in terms of interviewer research, now when it comes to interviewers, of course, you're probably thinking you're going to interview for a new company. You might do some research on the company itself, but you also need to do some prep around the interviewer. See if you have anything in common. Maybe you have different skills that they're looking for, or different skills they developed. Maybe you did similar professional qualifications, things like that. So review the LinkedIn profile of the interviewer you're going to be speaking with, learn which skills they tend to prefer, or specific similar experiences you might have from them, to develop a good rapport with them in the interview itself. Now, of course, you do a lot of company research. Typically, you go to the company's own website. But on LinkedIn, most major companies have a very good LinkedIn profile. So you can research the relevant details there. The particular companies you want to work for, their current business focus, any type of philanthropy and charitable endeavors they're engaged in, and their future growth plans. And you can mention all these things, of course, in the interview or with your colleagues if you are working at that company. So let's go through some of these here. Say you got an interview coming up at Credit Suisse. Firstly, find out the name of the person you're interviewing with and do the interview research by reviewing their particular LinkedIn profile. Now, to learn about the company and the most relevant up-to-date details, simply go on LinkedIn, search up the company Credit Suisse, look at some of their recent business initiatives. As you can see here, they're working on collectibles like art, rare art, and at art galleries, and investing at that for, making tangible investments, as you can see here with this brief screenshot. Then they have some work they've done around technology and education and in investing in charity work around there. And then they also talk about Amazon Web Services and biopharmaceutical companies and investing in healthcare and so on. So when you do this research on LinkedIn, it gives you the most up-to-date recent information about the company, and try to mention them when you're having interviews at major companies, because it shows you're up to date, you know what's going on internally at the company, and the interviewer will be very impressed that you have up-to-date research on them, and you know what would they typically be discussing in their office most recently. Now, it's important to strengthen professional relationships, right? So what do we mean by this? It means by maintaining your relationships on LinkedIn. Reach out to people on a regular basis, organize a call with them or appointment with them every few months, share useful content with them about your, maybe information about the business you're working on, information about your financial strategy, and then also keep it lighthearted, what you have in common. Maybe you have similar hobbies and interests. So you need to strengthen your professional relationships by keeping these type of things up on a regular basis. Reach out to your LinkedIn contacts as frequently as you can. I would say every 2 months at least, message a few major contacts you have to keep those relationships going, because you never know when you might need their help or they might need yours, right? So you might be looking for a job at someone's company and they've moved on and they work there. You can message them if you maintain the relationship regularly. But if you haven't talked with them for several months, it's not going to be as easy to ask them to help you out get a new job there. Now, what could you find out by looking at other people's LinkedIn profile? Because it might seem a bit irrelevant, like what have you got to gain from looking at other people's LinkedIn profiles? But there is specific things to be gained here. You could find out what is their career path of people who are at a similar level of you. What career path are they pursuing? Do you need to reconsider your career path based on what other people are doing? Where do they study? Should you perhaps gain some professional qualifications that other people in your industry are developing? What are their career progress? How's their career progressing? What hobbies do they have in common? So if their career is progressing a particular way, maybe they're developing skills in the tech algo trading. Let's just say you're looking at people with trading careers and they start working in FX trading and then they move to algo trading. So how's their career progressing? Do you need to consider a career shift based on what they're doing? And again, we mentioned hobbies and things you have in common. So these are all things that you should do when you look at your peers at your particular level in your industry. How can you learn from other people and their LinkedIn profile? What do you have in common? How can you maintain those relationships? How can you push your career forward by learning from other people? You should look at how they're promoting their personal professional brand. Are they writing LinkedIn articles? How they're engaging with other people or recruiters? How they're connecting with senior contacts? What is the next step in their career? So use LinkedIn to learn not only about interviewers, not only about companies, but other people and how they're developing their career and what you can learn from them to develop your own career. Now, it's important also to add detail to your LinkedIn profile, right? So you mentioned here keywords to attract recruiters to find your LinkedIn profile. So now, when you're adding detail to your LinkedIn profile, of course, you want things that are going to help you stand out from the competition, right? So now let's go through this in a bit more detail. You want to ensure the details you are adding value here. You want to attract recruiters. So add the top keywords they're going to be looking for. It's people with financial modeling skills, financial forecasting skills. The recruiters will search for that in terms of LinkedIn profiles. They have quite sophisticated tools to search for employees. Or if they have a recent regulatory change like Dodd-Frank, Volcker, proprietary trading, all these type of buzzwords you've probably heard before, include those buzzwords in your LinkedIn profile, because you'll come up in the search that the recruiters will do when they're looking for employees for particular new job roles. Explain your experience with some of the results. So don't just say you worked at Goldman Sachs, for example. Say what you've done. If you're at university and you secured 20k sponsorship for the university society, university charity event, so mention that. Show, look, I have experience as a treasurer for my financial university society, and I secured 20k sponsorship from major companies so we can invest in developing our events. So it shows the results, not simply you just sitting there not doing much work. Now you can demonstrate your credibility by adding a project to your profile. I highly recommend this. You have this option to have a portfolio on your LinkedIn profile. So maybe write a brief one-page financial analysis on a hot topic, maybe inflation, which is a big deal in recent years. And then you can write a brief analysis of that. What is inflation? How is it impacting financial markets? How is it impacting investors and households in the middle class? What is investing? What are the best investing strategies during an inflationary environment? All of these things will help you stand out from the competition. So make sure you do that, and you can demonstrate your skills. Simply upload a one-page PDF Word document of a financial report you write on a hot topic. Now, regular LinkedIn updates. This is also very important. How often do you update your LinkedIn page? It's very important. I would say check it on a monthly basis at the bare minimum, or every week, particularly if you're job hunting. Add any of the new buzzwords or new projects you worked on. Anything that's very hot topic in the industry, whether it's maybe MiFID II or Brexit, or perhaps it's like I say, algo trading, ESG, greenwashing, all these different type of hot topics, sustainable investing. Try to add those to your profile. Even if you haven't worked on them, it's good to mention that you're interested in those, or you've done a bit of research around those. So again, recruiters will have you come up on their job search when they are looking for people who are good for new roles. And also it will help you stand out from the competition by showing your interest on the latest financial hot topics. And you can respond to messages from contacts, recruiters, and mentors. So if you check your LinkedIn profile regularly, I would say, like I say, once every week. Very important. Reach out to a few contacts, reach out to a few recruiters or mentors. What opportunities are there available out there? How could I help you? Is there any way maybe they could help you? Things like that. So remember to check it regularly. Once a week's the best. Now we're moving on to the next steps to boost your career. Now, in this LinkedIn training that we've gone through, this webinar, you've learned through a lot of key topics. We went through how to improve your headlines, your about section, how to grow your network. These are all very important things, of course, very important things. And we want to take you to the next level at Economics Ethan, right? We want the next steps to boost your career. LinkedIn will help unlock your career potential if you use it correctly. And that's what we're here to help you do. We want you to earn a 250k plus salary in the financial industry. And we help finance professionals just like yourself, typically at this start of their career, get top jobs at top companies in the financial industry without much hassle, stress, without taking up too much time from them in the job search. And we use our unique strategy around LinkedIn profiles, and we have other services we also offer. And we have many top examples of this working well. As I showed you at the start of the training, I went through all those top companies where I've been successful at working at, getting opportunities at in terms of interviews, through using the strategies explained here in terms of strong LinkedIn profiles. But we have all these additional courses and services to offer you, and we're going to talk you through the three main options now. Now, option one, we have a LinkedIn Leverage Masterclass. It's a masterclass which is about 5 hours long. You can complete it in a few weeks. to give you specific tips of improving your LinkedIn profile. This will help you attain a 250k plus salary finance career in any top investment banking, in any top investment bank, sales and trading role, private equity, hedge funds, asset management, cryptocurrency, management consultancy firms, or finance and accounting firms. So this LinkedIn Leverage Masterclass will talk you through this and really be helpful on this particular LinkedIn strategy. We have over 50 examples actually in this training, right, which will talk you through exactly how to write the excellent LinkedIn profile to attract recruiters and top jobs. And I also have another bonus in this training, which is a LinkedIn article writing guide. So you can write excellent LinkedIn articles, attract attention from top stakeholders within your industry, and create a debate around a particular topic. So you go viral on LinkedIn, rapidly increase your connections there, your professional connections, and subsequently your job opportunities from top hiring managers. And now option number 2 is a professional writing service. Now I will write your LinkedIn profile and your resume and cover letter for a premium service here, where I will, again, I say, use all my techniques that I've used for over 10 years in investment banking when it comes to personal professional branding, and I'll help you secure a fantastic 250k finance career through this strategy. So that's option number 2. Option number 1 was the course. Option number 2 is a service. And option number 3 is a free career call with myself. I will give you 15 minutes to discuss any of your career questions, whether it's LinkedIn profile, job hunting, job advancement, anything you have in your particular, any particular concerns you have about your career. And as part of this service, this free 15-minute call, I also offer a free career ebook on how to 10 career lessons I learned from 10 years in investment banking. So you'll have all of these covered within the particular free call. We can go through everything you want. I say 15 minutes here, but typically I offer half an hour to 40 minutes, depending on what the issues are. And I'll help offer you a bunch of additional services or course, recommend you as the best next steps for your career. So we talk you through the 3 options you have there. Let's move on to the conclusion here. So feel free to pick the LinkedIn Masterclass, the professional writing service, or the career call I mentioned here. All the links are in description. And I also have these playlists of additional videos if you want to watch those through. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.